Do you have an irrational fear or aversion to YouTube hosts popping out of their screen into your living room? Then stay with us. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Video Call-In Show, that show that invites you to be a live guest on this program at any time to talk about anything you'd like to talk about, be it the topic of the day, could be a personal project, could be current events. It just could be to chew the fat with your old buddy Jim. That would be me. I am your host of the Video Call-In Show, and I will be here for about the next hour. My job? To listen and learn to and about you. Thanks for being here, guys. Tonight's subject, because I like to start off with subjects, is irrational fears, or better stated, phobias. I want to know what your phobias are. Now, hello, Bob Dipp and Patty Broussard. How you guys doing? And Jesse Mendez, how you doing as well? We should have better connection today. It's Jesus says okay. Now I just checked my stream health, and I was pumping up at about 12 megabits per second, and it should be just fine. That is about average for me. And now I'm looking at the stream status, and it says okay. Last night, as soon as I got off, I did a speed test, and it was 2.3 megabits per second. Poor form. Xfinity, poor form. Jeez, I don't know. That or someone in the neighborhood was downloading the entire Neil Sedaka discography. I don't know. Sharp and sparkly, sweet. That's what I was going for, Patty, was sharp and sparkly. anything I can, anytime I can be sparkly, I'm a happy man. Well, how are you guys doing tonight? I also see in here Above and Beyond Drones has a fear of video call-in show spinning in perpetuity. I have that same irrational fear, Jim. I don't know what it is about that, but I have that same thing. Oh, by the way, for the folks who are joining us for the first time, calling in is real easy. All you've got to do is visit zoom.us, click on join meeting. Step number 3, enter that meeting ID number when it asks for it. You'll show up in my green room, and then I'll take you first come, first serve. And like I said, tonight, I want to hear about your irrational fears or whatever you'd like to talk about. Don't have to talk about irrational fears. We don't have to talk about the topic of the day. We can talk about anything that you want to talk about. Could be a past show, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Barry Manilow. Exactly, Lloyd. Thank you. Grumpy Vlogger, welcome. Bob fears bad news from the doctor. Yep, I get that, Bob. That is, I was actually prepared to come on here and say, well, I don't know that I have any irrational fears. And I know you did, guys. Thanks for hanging in last night. I went through the motions, even though I knew we'd missed you guys had missed most of it, and I have yet to look back and find out how bad it was after processing. That would be an interesting thing to see if it actually did catch everything, or there's a whole bunch of stutter step. My guess is there will be a great deal of stutter step, and that's fine. That is fine. Prospección, Olivia, detección de metales. Good night to you, my friend. Welcome to the show. Dirty D's, how you doing, buddy? Who's that person keeps looking over my shoulder? Where? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people that do have irrational fears, and my wife is one of them. It's a fear of drowning. Now, she can swim like a fish, but you cannot hold on to her in waters that she can't touch in because she freaks out. And there's a lot of people that do that. Let's see, who else? Oh, I used to work with a guy who had full-blown agoraphobia. And for those of you who don't know, well, I think it's actually pronounced, agoraphobia, agoraphobia. Fear the Reaper. So does Blue Oyster Cult, Jesse. You're welcome, Jim. You're a good wife. Let's see. I thought you said my wife is one of them. I would never say that about my wife being an irrational fear of mine. Oh, speaking of which, tonight's tonight's topic is brought to you by Drone Kings in Darwin. That's Drone Kings in Darwin. Travel, drones, nature, and adventure. And what a wonderful family he's gotten. Man, he's a hell of a drone photog, and he does some great editing and tricks on his channel as well. Again, tonight's topic brought to you by Drone Kings in Darwin. Get some when you can. He's one of our show's friends from down under. David Smock, welcome to the show. While I'm on this subject, David, the producer, how you doing? Fear heights, the economy, and an empty bourbon glass. I agree on the last two, David. Absolutely. Patty fears driving places you don't know, or big places, and fear getting lost and not finding my way back to somewhere normal. Uber is my friend. So is in-car navigation. Am I right? I mean, I don't know how I became so dependent upon that when I've been a map guy for decades. I can remember reading the map and folding the map from my father when we travel and relied on it just entirely as I was up and coming in age. And now I just rely on that GPS like crazy. Throw an address in and it'll get you there. And if you don't remember how you got in there, then you put your home in and boom, it gets you right out. Crow of Judas, welcome to the show. Fear a bridge collapsing. I was actually on a story before I got in those weeds, and the guy I used to work with was agoraphobic, and what that means is you have a fear of leaving your comfort zone, and sometimes it's as tiny as a room, other times it's an area, and he had an area because I did work with him, and he did not work out of the home. This is back in the 80s. He's probably gone by now. I haven't talked to anyone from that place for better than 25 years. At any rate, it was bridges that kept him in his comfort zone. He was surrounded by rivers, lakes, and creeks, bridges everywhere. And I wouldn't say it is an island, but it was close. And he could not travel over bridges. So he locked himself into his comfort zone. I knew him for at least 10 years, and that's all he did. Who did I just see a minute ago? Dawson Strickland, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. It's been a while. Let's see. Well, I tell you what, let's, since I'm all out of phobias myself, let's bring up our first guest, shall we? All right. Gonna make me work. All right. Can you hear me? You can. Oh, yes. Let me bring you up a little bit, Bob. How are you this evening, buddy?
Pretty good.
Well, besides being fearful, right?
Yeah. We'll get rid of the really, really big fear.
What's that?
I'm afraid of falling and not being able to reach my beer.
Oh, man. I so share that fear. See, and here I came on all badass and everything without any fears, and already people have been showing me exactly what you got. Some scratchy mic there, my friend.
Maybe my beard got caught in it.
Oh, pro tip, kids, don't store your beer on top of your microphone. If you learn nothing from tonight but that, make sure you learn that. What else, Bob? You think you got any other what you would consider irrational? Of course, that's the funny part about that is when we say what you would consider irrational fear, most people that have irrational fears don't consider them irrational at all. They're very real to them. So,
well, one thing everybody keeps telling me, sit back, relax, and I says, no problem, as long as I know I can control my part of the situation. So I guess I got a fear of not being in control.
mm-hmm.
And everybody goes, oh, why do you drive trucks? It's like, well, I can't control the other idiots on the road, but I can control my space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's actually probably a pretty common fear, is the fear of not having control or losing control. having your fate put in someone else's hands, so to speak. I can see that. Absolutely.
That's why I say I fear bad news from a doctor because I know once you get bad news from a doctor, you lose all control.
Yep. Yep. That is true. That's what keeps most people from the dentists, don't you think? That irrational fear of whether they're going to have bad news or they're going to have to endure pain. At least that's what they believe.
Well, enduring pain is subjective. Some can have all the teeth pulled and not need painkiller, and some, well, you can put an ice cube across their teeth and they'll be screaming all day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who among us doesn't know someone who has to be sedated when they go to the dentist? I know at least two people that in my life that literally had to be sedated every time, even just for a cleaning.
Well, I would say just to walk through the door.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Uh,
do you think the fear of getting bad news from the doctor is directly proportional to your age?
Probably because the older I get, the more I know that I've known the older people I've known to get, the worse news they get.
Yes, absolutely. Your chances, yeah, your the odds of you getting bad information increase proportional to your age. Absolutely, but not in all cases, of course. There are exceptions. Grumpy Vlogger Lloyd says he fears all those Martians in Area 51. Lloyd, I'm with you, man. That's
Well, what happens if they're not from Mars? They're from Venus.
oh man. Well, does that mean they're going to be female or male? How does that? I'm referencing a book, guys. If you guys didn't get it, yeah, it's like women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Yes, so they would. Yeah, what if they are from Venus and are all women? I don't fear that at all.
Neither will I. You volunteer, will you, Kate?
I welcome our new overlords. Hello, Emmanuel Goffey. Got some new ones in. Jenny Marceth, how you doing? Good to see you. So what else, Bob? What else would you consider? Well, okay, let's just say fear, not irrational fear, because of what I just said. Anything? You there, Bob? Hello, Bob. Calling Bob. Come in, Tokyo. Come in, Bob. I think we might have lost Bob. We'll hang out for a bit more and wait for Bob, but I think he's yep. Oh yeah, lost connection. That's okay, Bob. That's okay. Who else has a what you would consider just a fear, not an irrational fear, just a fear? Because like I said, those fears that we hold to ourselves don't seem irrational at all. Don't David Smock, how you doing? Almost missed you. What was I saying earlier? Oh, I've known two people who are just scared to death of the dentist, and I know at least one who is frightened of the doctor, and it's the same as Bob. They're afraid of the news. They might find. David Smock says snakes. I don't know that I have an irrational fear of any animal, to be honest with you. The animals that I fear are more animals I respect in what they could do to me, but it's not an irrational fear. I wouldn't fear them at all until they were charging me. And you know what we're talking about. We're talking about bears. Elephants are certainly worthy of respect because they will charge and they will kill you. Hippopotamus kill a ton of people, which most people don't know. Sharks. There's another one. I know someone who is absolutely terrified of going to the ocean, putting their feet on the ground because of sharks or any other sort of ocean-going organisms that she may encounter. I don't know if that's irrational fear. I kind of see it as an irrational fear because I've been going in the ocean for better than 50 years, and I have not had any problems with that. Well, of course, Brad, Drone Kings, and Darwin. Of course, you have a fear of walking around down under. You're likely to fall off. How you guys stay on the bottom of the world, I'll never know. Jenny Marr says I'm scared of the dark. That is a very common one, and I think it actually manifests in childhood. I am no expert on this subject, but I have heard that that literally manifests in your childhood, bad experience or just insecurities or whatnot. But that's interesting. Hello, Andrew Frying Pan. How are you? Let's see. Who else? Who else do we have? Who's got a fear? Bob's fear is also losing connection. It's okay, Bob. Patty Barsard says, "Oh, okay. I've already got that one. White cone." Oh, I used to have, and I don't know if this counts as an irrational fear or not, but when I was working in broadcast television, I was an electrical engineer. So in several stations, the engineers also have to pull duty on master control. For those of you who don't know what master control is, it's the last switcher before the transmitter. So in other words, most of the shows that are on tape, the master control operator queues up. Now it's all done by computer, but queues up, plays, throws in the breaks, which are the commercials, and they're usually on tape as well. I'm sure it's all digital media now, but the one thing that you wake up in the middle of the night dreaming about is being in solid black. And I think I mentioned this on one of my shows before. Black is zero signal. Your tape is stopped, commercial's done, nothing is ready to go on next, and your screen is absolute blank. Well, you've got to mark each second of that down. And if you're wrong, sure, King Jellybean, if you'd like to. I got Studio Geek 32 coming up here shortly. You guys are always welcome to come on, new and old. I don't know that you guys would. Well, you're old enough to have fears. Let's see. I was virtually fearless when I was younger. But yeah, that was terrifying because black means that something has gone wrong, and it's up to you. You would not believe how long 2, 3, 5, 10 seconds is. It is a lifetime. You wouldn't believe how much you can get done in that relatively short amount of time when you're in black. I mean, it is just that. The funny part about that is, next time you see you're watching a show or a channel, and you see them go in black, behind the scenes, there is somebody scrambling to figure out what went wrong and to get it back on the air. Visualize that if you would. All right, let's bring up Sammy and see what he's got to say about fears or something else. He may have something else to talk about. All right, there we go. I don't see your camera or your microphone, Sammy. There it is. Oh man, he's throwing down an open on us. I still can't hear you, bud. You don't have a microphone chosen just yet. So your lower left area of your Zoom interface, you must be outside too. That's going to be tough on Wi-Fi. I have an irrational fear of bad Wi-Fi on the guest side. Is that irrational though? I mean, it's literally played itself out a few times in the relatively short time I've been doing this. So David Smock says, "Oh, hotel rooms. I love them, but I freak out at night if I'm alone in one. Never know what has happened there." Oh man, what was that movie where the guy brought in an ultraviolet light? And oh no, it was Family Guy. Stewie brought an ultraviolet light. I think when he and Brian were going out to Hollywood for whatever reason, and they stop in this hotel, and he fires that thing up, and there's farm animals and just crap everywhere that you don't see at all when it's off. It was hilarious. Hey, crap! My dad makes me watch. How you doing, Adam? Welcome to the show, my friend. Well, Sammy, I don't see you, my friend. I don't see you. It must be a connection problem. Try again. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room until you can sort that out. And of course, we'll get King Jelly Bean up in here. See what he's got to say about that.
Hello.
Hello, King Jelly Bean. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm just a little whacked right now.
A little whacked?
Yeah, in
Do you,
other words, I'm just a little out of order.
so, are you telling me you have an irrational fear of coming on the show?
Maybe.
Well, we know that's not true.
Yeah,
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Especially since I'm not fearful for the most part. Oh, we're losing your camera too.
Yeah,
Got
no,
it.
my camera is not wanting to stay on.
Damn it, technology.
Technology is just my enemy.
Oh man, it's the bane of my existence. Let me tell you about it. I do, this isn't an irrational fear, but no, it's not Zoom. No. Nope. Couldn't be I don't think. I know, well, no, it's connection on their side. I mean, I don't know, who knows. I can see you again. Can we hear you?
It's a little glitchy, but it's somewhat gonna get together.
Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I'm using my Wi-Fi.
Okay. See, now that's the thing. Somebody just said whether or not it was Zoom. Most of the time, and this is nothing nothing on you, King Jellybean. Um, most of the time that it gets glitchy is because you're using Wi-Fi. And I'm a huge proponent of hardwiring. I mean, I know you can on your phone, but every computer that I use for a live stream or things like that, I hardwire straight into that modem to make sure that I've got 100 megabytes or 1,000 actually megabytes per second traveling on that pipe, which you don't always get with Wi-Fi. So, but that is what it is, and I'm okay with that. So, I was clearer today than yesterday. Yes, thanks. My signal is real strong. Like I said, I have 12 megabytes bits per second working for me now. I could probably do a speed test. Speed test right now. Did we lose you again, King?
Yeah, you lost my camera. Like, I don't know. You see, on my live streams, whenever I go live, which was the reason I was late today, I was live, and
Oh,
I was really late going live, so I decided just to do a quick one and end it.
oh,
But usually I get on there, and as soon as I turn my camera on, I turn my camera on at least 5 minutes before I go live, because it usually will stop glitching out and it will get normal about 5 minutes after you turn it on.
mm,
But for some reason, it's not wanting to do that.
hmm.
It keeps cutting off.
Yeah. I wonder why I wasn't notified.
Yeah.
You saw me click your bell, and gosh dang it, YouTube.
A lot of people do not get my notifications. They say they have it on, they have it on, but then they don't get it. I don't understand it.
I don't either. Well, okay, now I'm streaming, so it's going to be a little bit lower, but I'm still 6.5 megabits per second. Well, look, it said I was showing 6.5. In fact, I can go to that. I just did a speed test. There you have it. That means that I'm still at 6.32 streaming. But earlier today, or actually right before it came on, it was 12, and that's always good. Hello, Shauna Marie Penny. How are you doing?
Yeah,
Uh,
Cydia was having problems before he
what?
came on here. Whenever he's our tech guy now, and he couldn't even get on ours. It kept cutting it out.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Another snakes from Ben Red YT. How you doing, Brett? Ben, by the way. A lot of people afraid of snakes. What are you afraid of, King?
Well, I have a lot of fears. So one of my
You're
fears
too
is
young to have a lot of fears.
oh god, I'm so paranoid. But one of my used to be really big fears was just being lonely. Like that's my fear. Like that's just like that's not like one of those irrational fears or whatever. But, like I'm always scared of being lonely.
Well, define alone. Like right now, if you weren't talking to me at the moment, you would be in your room alone, right?
Yeah.
Now you don't have a fear of that, right?
Well,
Oh,
my, yeah, and it's a big story that we're not going to go into, of course, but saving that for later. But like right now, like I usually like have my like whenever I'm in my room, I usually have my TV on but muted.
hmm.
And I usually do stuff during the daytime so I can see out my window. Whenever it's nighttime, I hate it because my window broke it a while back, and the shade has gone off of it now. So like anybody can see in. And even though I'm high up, it just disturbs me that I'm going to look over and then there's going to be someone at my window.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like I'm always afraid if the power goes out. Like the other day, the power went out, and I literally got up and ran out of my room and fell and just did a whole boom. Like I was so fast. I was like, nope, I'm done. Nope.
Well, uh, yeah, you're talking about being alone, alone. Yeah, I wouldn't call that like I said, it means different things to different people. Phobias are so,
Yeah,
uh, you know, objectively they can be, irrational. Subjectively,
yeah,
they would be very very real.
yeah.
So, well, hmm. So you're saying that you wouldn't even like to. I don't know. I see. I'm the opposite. I like being alone. I absolutely like being alone. Um, Sometimes it's my favorite time because I just get to, my brain will go 1,000 miles an hour thinking about things that I really should be writing down.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I don't have any problem with that. Think about spending an entire day out in the woods, um, up in a tree, and your mind just racing from subject to subject. I don't mind that at all.
I would be actually shaking at that point.
Well, you
Like
got.
being alone every now and then is okay. Like I'm okay staying here at the house during the day by myself.
Mhm,
I'm okay with doing that kind of stuff. But like what like I had someone draw the fear of being alone and what I kind of saw it,
mhm.
and it was like being in a shell, of no one, of having nobody. Like not about relationships and stuff, but having no one with you, having nothing, and just being alone.
Well, it is kind of like, and it has to do with relationships, right? I mean, because we're not talking
Yeah,
about being the Omega Man, where you're the last person on Earth. You're just talking about having no one close, and that would be friends, family, love interests, and things like that. That's what you fear, right? Not necessarily being the last man on Earth.
no, I just fear, having nobody like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. I get that. I get that. And I wouldn't call that irrational necessarily. I mean, we all need people in our life. I've had that horrible daydream where everyone I know is wiped, off the face of the earth, and I am, for all intents and purposes, alone. But I also know that it doesn't take me long to meet new people, um, to develop relationships, and a lot of that stems from my upbringing, where we moved around a lot, and you learn how to let old friends go and how to meet new ones very quickly when
oh
you
yeah.
when you transfer schools in the middle of the school year, several times. Now that begs the question: have you been in the same area, like forever, and know all
Well,
the same people since you've been growing up?
yeah, I kind of have. For some reason, yeah, I've moved schools and stuff back when I was little because life story, parents did some things, but I did move schools, but for some reason, some of my best friends and some of the people who stay with me, they came with me for some reason, and we're still to this day. And some of them, I haven't seen in 7 years or longer,
Hmm.
but I still know them. And my friends now, I've stayed in the same area. Yeah, I've been in this area since I was born, but scattered around the area.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, you're lucky in that way, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And and if this gives you comfort at all, if that were to ever um happen, you and let's say you survive, the mere fact of surviving says that you would survive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that gives you comfort because, like I said, people, even though everyone is different, we're all basically the same, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and we're all the same species and subspecies, um, and that in itself is comforting because I don't know how many people. Well, you haven't lived that long, but I don't know how many people I've met who are very very similar to some of the other people that I know, and that tells me immediately that I'm going to find the same personalities I'm drawn to now if the worst case scenario were to happen, and so would you. So
Yeah.
cool. What else? Anything else? Any other fears? You said you had a lot of them.
Well, when I was younger, I had well, still today, every now and then, I have a little weird fear. That's something that's not really likely to happen, but it happens too often, and it scares me. Like one day that like I'll be home alone, like like we burn our garbage, and I'll go out there, and I always look. I have to look everywhere, especially back in the woods, because like I'm always scared that I'm gonna be sitting on my couch one day, and I look, and there's just gonna be someone coming towards my house from the woods with like a chainsaw, and I'm gonna be like, oh well, like that's just a big fear. Like oh god.
You're watching way too many horror flicks, man.
Well, when I was little, I don't watch it anymore. I hate horror films now. But when I was little, my parents that's all we watched every single night, every
Mm.
single day, horror movies. Yeah,
Well, I think we know where that came from.
exactly, exactly.
Can I let you in on one of mine? It's somewhat similar. When I go to a restaurant, I can't have the door to my back.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I absolutely. Well, I'm always looking over my shoulder because that goes along with Bob's not being in control. If I can't actively survey my surroundings, I am exceedingly well. As the evening goes on, I am exceedingly uncomfortable.
Yes.
So I always, and my wife she is so familiar with this that, and yeah, it's somewhat irrational. I understand that, but yeah, exactly, Jesse. It is good to be aware of your surroundings. Well, my wife will literally make room and adjust her, where she was going to sit because she knows that I am not going to have that door at my back if it is at all possible. The Godfather. Yeah, Bob, you're right. Make
And
it
a lot of
awful.
it has to deal with I studied like I told you before I studied psychology for a long time. A lot of it has to do with what we watch on TV, the news especially, because the news is negativity basically. That's what they share a lot is what happens in the world, and a lot of it, sometimes it makes us feel that way and have to be. It's good to be aware of your surroundings anyway, yes, but it makes us more aware of what are the scenarios that could happen that we have to worry about nowadays.
Yeah, but there's a caveat to that, my friend.
Yeah.
You were not around before the 24-hour news cycle. And oh, by the way, I want to address these guys. Grumpy Vlogger, Lloyd's, and Jesse Mendez are the same way. He says that's a veteran kind of thing, and it absolutely is a veteran kind of thing. It's one of where you want to be unbelievably aware of your surroundings and the activities that are um, you know are manifesting themselves. So, but the one thing that I was going to tell you about was the 24-hour news cycle. Now, I blame that entirely for people that have fears like you were just talking about. And the cure for that is to go look at the statistics. A
Exactly. That's what I do.
Yeah, well, a great example is child abduction. Child abduction has been on the decline for, oh, I want to say 30 years, maybe closer to 50. And situational awareness, yes, thank you, Lloyd. Um, Gun violence has actually been on the decline since earlier than 1996. But if you believe the 24-hour news cycle, because they've got to, and man, I worked in news. I know how this works. If it bleeds, it leads. That's all they want to do is try to sensationalize things for viewership because that's where the dollars are. Follow the money. So you have the unfortunate, or you're in the unfortunate generation to have never lived before the 24-hour news cycle. Now, what this has caused is that people are way overprotective. People are hyper paranoid about something bad happening when statistically they shouldn't be at all. And I'm, it's bad for you. It's bad for you because you have, well, people, like you that had that same sort of fear because their perception is so skewed. The perception is that all these bad things happen all the time and they just don't, not nearly as much as people say they do. There's always going to be bad things happening in this world. There's what is it? We over 7 billion now, 7 billion ants on this blue ball. Stuff's going to happen. Stuff that is newsworthy, and they've got to fill 24 hours, even your local channels, 24 hours with this crap. And it just scares the bejesus out of people, which is horrible. It's horrible. So I'm sorry for that, bud.
And
But go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
No,
My nana used to tell me, and this is when I really got interested in statistics and stuff, because my nana used to tell me none of this stuff used to happen. Like, I've never heard of any of this stuff when I was young, and I was like, well, let me look into that. That's whenever I started, I was like midway into process of studying psychology and getting stuff wrote down for the Change Project. But I started looking at those statistics more, and I started realizing, these problems are kind of going away slowly. They're not going to go away because that's just not possible.
Right.
But they are diminishing, and I was like, yeah. And I wrote down all the statistics, and recently they've changed, and I got to go back and do more research on that stuff now. Like, I hear people all the time, my nana constantly, she always watches the news. I never watch the news. Like, I look at the weather, that's about it. Because, like, people, you said, watching the news like that, it can hurt you in some ways.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's just as bad online though, right? I mean
Yeah.
that is that's even a worse thing because there are so many more sources online to report that sort of thing as well. And again, the call-in number isn't complete. Sure it is. Um, it's not a phone number. Shaklo. It is actually a meeting ID. Pardon me, King.
Okay.
Um, joining is this way. You see the zoom.us link. You go to zoom.us, click on join a meeting, and then you enter that as a meeting ID number. So, but yeah, so the internet is probably our worst enemy in that arena as well, right? Because there's so much information and misinformation.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are fighting an uphill battle when it comes to that for sure.
And a
But
lot of parents nowadays, I see all these children with these phones and stuff like that, and it kind of bothers me some because, their parents are not always looking at what they're doing. Some parents could care less, and it hurts for people to do that to their children.
mm-hmm.
It's like all these children, these young children, who probably shouldn't have electronics. They are open to all this information.
Yes.
And they're led to believe anything. Children are innocent like that. They will believe, some like a worst case scenarios that are very rare. But I've heard of, online people telling them to kill their parents or even do worse things and hurt themselves. And they end up doing it. It's very rare, like I said, but there has been those cases, and you don't have to be overprotective about it, but the online world is a very, very dangerous place
Mm-hmm.
nowadays.
Yep, it is. It is. Yeah. So, that's actually a pretty good subject for maybe one of your topics or whatnot. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, that's what, this year I was going to bring some of those newer topics like, surroundings and child online stuff, endangerment, those new topics that are starting to become a little bit of a problem in this
Yes.
world.
Yep.
Take care. Yeah.
Oh, well, cool. Well, listen, my friend. I think Studio Geek is ready to come on. He said he was.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to him if you don't mind.
Well, that is fine.
But take comfort. Take comfort in that that you're smarter than the average bear. You're looking at statistics. You wouldn't be alone for long, and I have nothing but um, the greatest of confidence that you would come out on top.
Alrighty. I will talk to you later then.
All right, sounds good, Bo. Well, thanks so much for being here.
Alrighty.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, let's see if Sammy is good to go. All right, here we go. Gonna make me type, aren't you? Sammy, can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh shit! Wait a minute. Wait. King was very low. I had to turn my audio up. Okay. How you doing, Studio Geek? Sammy?
Good. I hope this is better.
Well, it says, please start your camera. There you are. There you are. Hang on.
There's a
Okay.
video problem when I had this all set up. But
He was just there a second ago, folks. There he is.
hello.
How you doing, Sammy?
So if you are wondering, what is this?
Yeah. What was that? What was that open you just threw at me earlier?
What?
Well, I saw some video when you first tried to call in. I didn't get you to air yet, but I think I saw this video.
Yeah. So I actually do a daily vlog on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like I looped all of like a lot of the vlogs into like one big clip, and that's what I'm looking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Very
And
cool.
then I had to restart my computer because it was acting very
Not right.
well.
Very not well. Yep.
And this is why I came up here tonight. My fear is so I'm actually switching video for King Jellybean and Easton.
Right.
So then there's a problem, a big problem. So, and this happened like 30 minutes ago. So we were live, and we were about to start live, and my computer was acting up. So I was scared because we were about to go live, and then my computer concluded. Yeah. That's really not, and that's my fear. If I'm switching video, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. You remember, I think I told you that that I do that for some clients, and there's money involved, and not only that, but their reputation and things like that. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's just like, and it's fear because I don't want to get it like, do you know what I'm saying? Like wrong.
Don't want to forget things. Yep. You don't want to miss a switch. You don't want to hit the wrong camera. You don't want to. Oh, dude, I get it. I totally get it.
Plus, it's over line.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Live is the only way I do that. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the folks call me, and I put them together, kind of in a show like this. Could be one or more guests. Sometimes it'll be on location. Sometimes it'll be a remote. And oh yeah, and I'm switching it all live. So I have all of their assets ready to go, like the open, any slides, any under audio, any audio blurbs, the close music, the actual close slide and or video. I got all the cameras set up to where I can take them individually or a wide shot, and any number of things can go wrong during the show. And yeah, I'm just like you. It's a ball in your stomach that won't go away until the show's done.
Oh yeah.
But it is. Go ahead.
I'm actually so happy that Google Hangouts is going away.
Why is that?
Because I can switch video and then I can have more experience plus better streams,
Yes.
better quality. And I felt like Google Hangouts was going downhill so much.
Yeah, it was always so limited as far as I was concerned, right? You only had two ways to go. You could keep people up solid, or allow it to VOX and just pop people up as they talked, which is just it's hard on my eyes and head to watch that, honestly.
Yeah. And I feel like it's great that they are cutting it off, because they had it for since 2010.
Yeah. Yep.
So over a lot of years, you get tired of it. And I think one of the reasons they made Google, it used to be Google Plus Live or something, and they did it because they had a software called Google Plus, and they just killed it a couple months ago because it was a complete fail.
Yep. Could not compete.
And didn't they make this software just for that? I think I heard that.
They did. They wanted to become part of the community, the Google Plus community. And of course, when it failed, people were so tied to Google Hangouts that they kept it alive for a little bit longer. And I really feel bad for those people who depended upon it, and now they have to find an alternative. But that is what it is, you know.
And now there's this new thing called StreamYard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's StreamYard. There's still Skype. There's Zoom. There's several that you can use.
Thousands of people now are using Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm not getting one dime from that. Dang it, Zoom. I mean, I literally called them up and asked them if they would consider doing an affiliate program. They want you to send their friends there, but it's not an affiliate program. And I said, I want to be an affiliate. Tell you, run that up the ladder and get back to me. So I'm still waiting for their call. Because I've been pushing Zoom for 3 or 4 years now. This is when they were in their infancy. I started using them when they first came out against Skype, and were such a better platform than Skype ever was.
Such. And it's actually very nice that you have your little monitor, or you can hide it, because with Google Hangouts, you need to see yourself. It's like,
yep.
And if you have 20 monitors and you don't want to see yourself, or you have a preview, do you know what I'm saying? Like a professional camcorder that is hooked up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Absolutely.
So that's what I wanted to say, really.
Yeah, I don't think it's an irrational fear at all. But then again, I have the same fear. So, I'm not going to see it that way.
Because what if you miss a slide, or something's not working?
Oh, I know.
Or your computer crash.
Oh, I know. And that's happened to me before.
Do you have any other computers?
What's that?
Do you have any other computers?
Oh yeah. Several actually, but when I'm on a live shot, when I'm on a live stream, there's nothing I can do. If they both call me and then things go to hell, there's nothing I can do. But if I'm on a remote shoot, I always have a camcorder running at a wide shot with its own microphone, shotgun microphone, to pick up anything I might lose if my computer crashes or the internet goes down or the recording stops or something. That way I can always go back, edit it together, and it'd be a complete show. I never, ever miss anything out of that.
And then how would you like one of these? Something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got an older Sony that's HD. It does a fine job. I just stick it up on a tripod, right in front of my well, right in the center. So whatever I'm shooting at is center stage, and I'll even use it as a camera because I can take the HDMI out into a
Yeah.
conversion box that converts it to USB, and I can use it as another camera source as
Yes.
well. It's not as good as
I,
my
yeah.
PTZ cameras, but yeah.
Oh, you use the PTZ
Yes.
optic?
Yes, the PTZ optics cameras. Absolutely.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
I
they're
was about to connect this camera,
oh yeah.
this Canon,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with like a little Elgato that I had lying around, but there's a problem. It was like a little laggy, so I just threw up the standard Logitech C920
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like every YouTuber, every streamer needs to have it because it's like a pretty good camera for like under $50, and you can just throw it up and it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've got one around here somewhere. I thought for sure that I had it pinned to my monitor tree here, but I don't know what I do with it. I was using it for a different conference call because I didn't feel like firing up the PTZ. And yeah, they're a decent little camera for them, especially for the money. Especially for the money.
Yeah.
Can't say Bob. Murray. I don't know what they're saying.
Oh.
Chat's going, and I can't figure out what they're saying. Now, yeah. So that's a good fallback as well. You need a good waterproof camera, Bob. Well, a friend of mine said that there are some really good ones out there. I would actually point you to Sony, but I'm pissed off. Hello, Was Blind. How you doing? But I'm ticked off. Oh, Mr. Lodak's here. I'm ticked off at Sony because I've got the AS100 and they just stopped supporting it. So now you can't. I think it's the AS100 Sports Cam. Fantastic lens on it. It's very wide angles, and it's a great water resistant camera. So you don't even need a case.
It's like that white camera.
Yes, yes. I know it's around here somewhere.
Aren't they like $400?
I don't remember what I spent for mine, to be honest with you, but I've taken it on several vacations and got some really great footage out of it.
Who told you about that camera?
I couldn't even tell you, Sammy. I don't even remember. It's been so long ago. I've had it for about 5-6 years, and I've slept since then. And I just don't know. But the best part about it was, you can use it in the rain. You don't have to have it covered at all, so you don't get that you don't get that second lens effect. And then it comes with a waterproof case, so if you go beyond 3 meters with it, then it's waterproof. But it's yeah, and it even has built-in Wi-Fi, which I'd never used, but and its form factor is so nice and small. What I use it for now, and I have yet to publish any of these, is I've got it mounted on my dash, and I will literally film, vignettes and things, just record my thoughts, honestly.
Yeah.
And the great part about it is if I'm driving with someone, it catches both of us very, very clear because of that wide angle lens. It's Carl Zeiss lens
yes.
too. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen like the show Comedian's Car Getting Coffee?
Oh yeah, absolutely. With Jerry Seinfeld? Yep.
Yeah. A great show. I think they use like a GoPro or one of those.
Yeah.
Like
probably do.
Because how do they get the like wide angle shots that look so nice? That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think there are probably some wide angle lenses you can use with the GoPro. I am not what I would consider a GoPro aficionado at all. Yes, Crap My Dad's Makes Him Watch His action cameras like GoPros can be found with waterproof cases. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. Windows 7 is stopping. Mr. Lodick says Windows 7 is stopping support soon. I'm going to have to move on when that happens. I despise newer versions. I still have a desktop that runs XP. I never fired.
Like what software are you running on your PC?
Oh, I'm a Windows 10.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm on like the newest Mac OS like beta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Apple sheep, they call me. I have an iPhone, a Mac, iMac there. So
Oh, here,
my whole life is Apple.
I'll help you out. Apple fanboy. There you go.
Yes. And sometimes I get pissed at Apple.
Who doesn't?
Like just USB-C drive. So that's why I have a 2015 and it works amazingly.
Cool. Cool.
The headphone jack. No headphone jack.
It doesn't have a headphone jack?
Dongle.
Oh,
The
see
dongle.
that bothers me a lot.
But it's more water resistant, they say.
Well, yeah, so is my 9. My Galaxy 9 is water resistant, but that bothers the heck out of me. All the, even the like the MacBook Pros, they're the ability to I've got no less than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 devices plugged into my PC at once with no dongles.
And isn't it like a Alienware? Like, isn't it like a laptop or something?
It is a laptop. It's an Acer Predator.
Wow.
And I don't even, well, I do have HDMI for one of the monitors, but yeah, amazing. Just amazing. Yeah. Well, I say no dongle, but there is one. My audio is audio out and audio in is on one USB. That's only because
what kind of mixer do you use?
I use the Behringer XR18.
Wow.
I also use that for my bands, so it's dual purpose.
I always wanted you to like play some drums.
One of these days I will. Magic Jones wants me to as well.
Yeah, make a show that shows like show your talents.
That's a great idea.
And then like we come with like the drums, and then we can do like a drum duet or something like that. That could be cool.
I'm hip, dude. I'm hip. Well, buddy.
How long have you been playing?
Oh, maybe. Well, I've told this story before. When I was in high school, I actually bought a kit. It was a $300 Ludwig, and it was a really nice. Let's see, it was probably early 70s, but I bought it in late 70s. Nice black 6-piece. It was Zildjian cymbals, and I had it for a year or two, and then I sold it. After that, for the next, I don't know, 20 years, I was the best dashboard drummer this side of the Mississippi. And then it wasn't until about 2008 when my son got into music that we decided to get some drums, and it was an electronic kit, and then that evolved into several acoustic kits. And then I played live for the first time. I want to say in 2009, 2010. So, about 10 years, I would say, professionally making money at it, but it's very little money. Trust me, as a local band, there is not any money in it.
Actually, I made so I have been playing drums for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the same amount, kind of. And one of the gigs, I got $100.
Oh yeah, that's average, really. If you're a gigging local band, it's usually $100 per person. There when we stopped, because I haven't played out live in probably, I don't know, 2-3 years. We were actually making $200 to $250 a person for the 4-piece band, and about $200 per person, $200 per person for the 6-piece band. So not bad. Did great on St. Patty's Day. Sometimes we'd be making about $300 a head, but yeah, $100 is pretty average for most of your local bands. at least in the Midwest. Well, listen, buddy, we're hitting up on 11 o'clock. Yeah. And I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up, if you don't mind. Oh, you didn't have to kill your camera, dude. Can you
I'm
still?
going to leave.
What's that? Sammy, you still there? Hello, Chrissy. How are you? Oh, Sammy dropped off. Maybe. Sammy, you didn't have to go so soon. I was just going to say that I'm getting ready to pack up the show here because it is 11 o'clock. Hopefully we didn't have any weird getting his pants on. That's okay, Chrissy. That's okay. We're at the end of the show anyway, and hopefully we didn't have any glitches tonight. Hopefully the internet was solid. I am before I close this thing out, I'm going to do one more speed test just to find out. I'm looking to change my provider because not because of that necessarily, but we're cutting the cord. I'm tired of paying for what we don't use. We're still up around 140 up. I'm sorry, down and up while we're streaming. Yeah, we're going to be right around the 6 range. So not bad. Not bad. Now, granted, when I jump over here, I guarantee it to be up over 11. So, all right. But that's going to do it for tonight. Folks, just remember, if you have what you would consider a fear, think about how rational it might appear to someone who doesn't have that fear, and maybe try to face it. I think some of you will remember the story of my fear of public speaking and conquered it in that it took a lot of hard work, some uncomfortable moments, but it turned out all right. And now I don't have any problem necessarily with public speaking. So give it your all, no matter what it is. And remember, fear itself is harmless, but the fear of failure kills. That's a twofer for tonight. The second one, as you know, is going to be make sure you treat others the way you would want to be treated. If we all did that, this world would be a better place. With that, I'll bid you farewell. Thank you, and we'll see you live.